What's up, Spurs fans? This is Tom the Spurs Dude coming at you, talking Spurs basketball. Well, obviously, the San Antonio Spurs will officially sign Tiago Splitter to a contract, thus bringing the Brazilian EuroLeague player to San Antonio. This is a moment that all Spurs fans have been waiting for the past couple of years. He was drafted in 2007, and Spurs fans have been anxiously waiting for this great moment to come to San Antonio. So now it's here. It's happening. Monday, lunes. Ya viene Tiago Splitter de Brazil. So with that in mind, the Spurs signing Tiago Splitter, bringing a big man to help Tim Duncan in the paint, will obviously help this team a lot in a greater deal, with the sense that we still have DeJuan Blair, that obviously has progressed even throughout the summer of this year. In the summer league, DeJuan Blair is going to practice more games with the Spurs. That's going to allow him to improve as a player and just get him ready for next season. Obviously, as everybody knows, Richard Jefferson opted out of his contract, which to me really makes no big of a deal. Richard Jefferson did nothing for the Spurs this past season and really didn't show why he should have just stayed with them to begin with. Some people were discouraged, some people were mad or frustrated, and it's just because Richard Jefferson just didn't do the things that he should have done with the San Antonio Spurs. So because of that, Richard Jefferson has opted out. He has gone to have free agency status. Team has not been yet chosen by Jefferson, but he's gone. Obviously, with the big news going on with LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade signing contracts with the Miami Heat, talks reportedly, sources are confirming that Derek Fisher is meeting up with LeBron James actually today, was a couple hours ago, met in Miami at the Miami airport, or they probably met somewhere on Biscayne Boulevard somewhere with a cup of tea. I don't know, but he met with LeBron today. And Pat Riley's trying to get things done down in Miami, South Beach. You see the man with the nice suit on, with the slick back hair all the time. He's trying to get things accomplished. So what is R.C. Buford doing to help things get accomplished in San Antonio? Because a lot of Spurs fans keep asking me, well, what do you think the Spurs are going to do? What do you think is going to happen? How do you think the season's going to take place next year? Well, I'll tell you what, if the Spurs make some key adjustments, if we could figure out a way to get rid of Roger Mason, Keith Bogans, and Matt Bonner in a trade, that could bring in, at this point, we just need a shooter and a defender. Someone who can shoot and defend at the same time. Sort of what Bruce Bowen was. The Spurs need to find that guy, whether it's Raja Bell or Steven Jackson, or someone that they can afford, someone that's not going to kill their bank, someone that's not going to cost them an arm and a leg. They can bring in some players that could come into this team and help them out. But whatever those players are, whoever they may be, the Spurs just have to get it done, plain and simple. But with the guys that are coming in this year, James Anderson is a big pickup, if not the best steal in the NBA draft this year. James Anderson coming out of Oklahoma State. Look for him to score, penetrate, attack the basket, and get to the free throw line. I think James Anderson will be that player that the Spurs have been longing for the longest time. I think this is the type of guy we needed to come to this organization to help out Monty Ginobili or Tony Parker if he's still with the Spurs and not gets traded somewhere else. But George Hill is still on the roster. Some Spurs fans still think that George Hill is not a true point guard, that he's more of a shooting guard type of player, which is probably true, but when you look at the fact that George Hill took over a lot of games for Tony Parker last year when he got hurt, you saw how good he did. Yes, he had a couple of bad games, but who doesn't? No one's perfect. George Hill came in, did what he needed to do, and that was win ball games for the San Antonio Spurs. He put it together, he got the job done, and that's all that really matters. So whether or not George Hill is a true point guard or whatever, the fact of the matter is that he's damn good enough to get the job done. So it's better than having some guy that you can't rely on not knowing what they're going to be able to do. George Hill, we know what we're going to get from him. We know what he's capable of doing. And by gosh darn it, we know he's going to get it done. So with that said, the Spurs just got to figure out something to help out Manu, something to help out Tim Duncan. Well, with Tiago, that's check that off with the list. But what about Manu? Well, I guess you can say James Anderson. But what the Spurs are longing for is a defender, and that has yet to be seen. The Spurs need to make a move to go find a defender, and that's plain and simple. As for other talks, I mean, the biggest news out there is the Miami Heat. Whether they're going to make the finals or not determines on who they pick up this offseason. I think they're signing Mike Miller to a contract. And Derek Fisher is reportedly to be signing with them. But whatever happens with the Miami Heat, whatever happens with the Los Angeles Lakers, whether they crap their pants in fear of the Miami Heat just getting too dangerously good. I mean, if I'm Kobe Bryant right now, I'm getting surgery on my fingers, and I'm wondering to myself, how in the hell are we going to beat a caliber team such as the Miami Heat? Spurs fans, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be waiting until the schedule comes out to mark your calendars for that date. That game is going to be a big game to go watch. We'll get Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron James. That's just going to be a game that's going to be marked on everybody's calendar coming up. So for Spurs news, that's about it. Y'all can leave some comments on the video. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think is going to happen. Show some love, everybody. Peace. This is Tom the Spurs dude signing out. Little shout outs to a couple people real quick. Doo Brown Sports TV, JR Sport Brief, Elite NBA Talk, Sonya NBA. There's a couple others I probably forgot. But shout outs to DZ2425 and the rest of the people on YouTube doing their thing on the YouTube. Holla back, everybody. And remember, go Spurs.